Hey everyone, and this is Eric with Eric's Adventures, and welcome to my channel. Today on my GX build, I will be installing a new roof rack. So, I have the LFD roof rack. It's a full rack, new side bars, all new crossbars, and then this is their brand new air fairing with provisions for a light bar. So, I'm not sure if this is even out yet. I had messaged them on Instagram and they said they have one. This is brand new, so I'll show you guys how to install it. I got this roof rack on sale for about $700, and it is steel, not aluminum like a lot of other stuff on the market. So this was a couple $100 cheaper. It's a little bit heavier, but in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not too bad. One thing that I've heard people say is because you can use these cross members on the stock rack, this is a little bit narrower than some of the other roof racks on the market, but once I get this installed, I'll show everybody how it looks. Getting started on removing the stock roof rack. So we've got this plastic piece up here, we've got a second middle one here, and then we've got the rear one there. So get a trim removal tool. I've got this Harbor Freight one. And there we go. That is off. Try not to break these because if you want to reuse it. Otherwise, if you don't, it doesn't really matter. So this one here, stick it under here, the rubber, and get it out here. And there we go. So it looks like second one. And now the rear one, again under the seal, and just kind of use your pry tool, feel where the tabs are. And then kind of crack that one. And go around, try to pop off where it is. And there we go. So now that the stock rack is off, you're going to see some bolts in here. We're going to take those out. On the front side of the roof rack, these are going to be 12mm bolts. So loosen them up one by one, like this. Because there's a plate inside, and if you take one out all the way, this will spin and it'll be a hassle to get it off. And then in the middle, this is another 12mm. There we go. And then in the back, these are going to be two 12mm. And they're out. And then to take it off, all you got to do is push up like this, and it's off. So do this to both sides, and it should come off pretty. Once you've got the roof rack completely removed, in the middle you've got one more bracket to take off. These are 10mm bolts. And it just comes off. Once you get the roof rack off, you'll notice there's some kind of gum left over from shop vac. Here's the hardware kit that comes with it. One thing you do have to buy is some sealant. I bought some marine grade sealant, so that's going to be up here around these two mounting holes is where they want you to put sealant to keep any sort of moisture from getting in. And then on the GX470, it comes with these two brackets and these two cover plates, and this is going to be for the middle two holes because this roof rack will only use the front and very rear mounting locations. So the middle hole location, you're going to use this provided bracket. It's got little arrows, so those will be facing out. Once you got a good bead of silicone around, put these in here like this. There you go, this will spread it out. And then use the existing bolts off that middle bracket to mount in here. And if you need to, put a little bit of silicone into the hole to basically fully seal these. Once you've got this bracket attached with the old bolts, you're gonna put this in. I'm gonna put the arrow facing outboard. So one end kind of grabs it. And then you push down. And this is kind of like a seal for this. When it comes time to installing the roof rails, the 4 bolts that you took out, you will reuse those. You're going to use this block to basically make it a spacer and distribute the load, and then put some silicone. So I'm going to put silicone around here. I'm going to put it around the bolts to basically keep any moisture at all from getting into these holes. And then I'm going to use this to push it down and basically keep this closed up. So I've got the sealant on, and I am going to put this piece like this and push it down. And then I'll put the roof rack on and use the existing bolts. So before I put the bolts in, I will also put silicone inside these holes, so if any moisture does get in, it doesn't rust these out. This is what it looks like when it's installed. So these go from the outside, and then the rear goes from the inside. The rear, you're gonna have to use an open-end box wrench, 12mm to get these. On the front, I used a ratchet. Do not over tighten these. The max torque on these is like 30 foot-pounds. So I've got this one. It's a little bit loose. I can still move it, and then I'm gonna put the other one, and then I'm gonna put a crossbar on the front, middle, and rear, help align everything, and then I will tighten these down to the top of the car fully. Now that I've got both roof rails on kind of loose, I'm going to start putting in the first set of crossbars. So putting in the crossbars is gonna let me square up the rack. This is gonna be a 13mm socket. So when you put these in, make sure that the washers are inside. Okay, so the rear is in, and now I'm going to do one on the front side. When you're installing the crossbars, it's important to know the orientation and how these nuts and bolts go. So you're going to put your bolt in from the outside, and then it will sit like this, and then you have this kind of dual washer that goes to the cross brace and then the nut on the outside. There's no torque spec, so just kind of tighten it pretty tight. You'll kind of know when it's too tight. And yeah, that's how you install it. So the front piece, I have an air fairing with a light bar thing. So it comes with this gasket. You just kind of put it on, make sure this rubber bulb is towards the car, and then you can see that it's just 2 holes. So I'm going to use that to mount up here. Crossbars, you can put the bolts in and kind of slide them in. For the air fairing, you're going to have to put the bolts in to the holes. So like this, put the washers on the inside. Last step is to torque these down, going about 25 foot-pounds. And then I'm gonna get the other side. So So I've got the roof rack all finished up. This is what it looks like. And then I'm gonna get up here on the rock sliders, and this is what it looks like from the top. It is sturdy. I have the larger of the crossbars in the front. I can use this to mount something. I plan to put a rooftop tent that goes about 2/3 of the way, and yeah, pretty sturdy. I'm excited to try this out and do a long-term review and see how it works. The instructions say 300 pounds dynamic weight and 600 pounds static weight, so that should be more than enough to support a rooftop tent and some other stuff I need to throw up there. But yeah, install was pretty easy. I was doing it all by myself, so there's a few things that are a bit of a hassle, but if you can get a second set of hands, it makes it so much easier. So there it is, the LFD roof rack fully installed. If you like the video and you want to see more of this content, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.